Hi there, this is Teresa. Wanted to share a little story with you about my experience of interviewing for a full time job in my late 20s. And it was a very good experience compared to some that can be very difficult for people who are visually impaired. Thank you for the idea of sharing these stories. Thank you to Cayla with a C. I've been watching a lot of your videos and enjoying them very much. Um, I had this one job that I found in a newspaper uh, advertised for an account clerk, which is basically a bookkeeper, um, in a library in the town I lived in. It was a pretty small town. I mean, not horribly small, but it wasn't really big. And it was like my dream job because I originally wanted to go to college to be a CPA, certified public accountant. And long story short, my adventure into college only lasted a week because I ended up having to have emergency surgery for my left eye, and it turned out I wouldn't be able to do the schoolwork for months because of recuperating from surgery, and I decided to go with better grades from high school than poor grades from college, even though I had a full scholarship through the Commission for the Blind or Division for the Blind or whatever they call it up in Maine. um, but I'm now looking back 30 some years later, wondering if I should have done things a little differently, but I can't say I'm sorry that I have lived my life and enjoyed having children and just having this job that I interviewed for was, like I said, my ideal job. Um, when I went in to interview, and I can't remember, it was so long ago exactly what was said, but I told them right up front about my visual impairment, and I had given them references and all the information from my high school grades and my skills, and they seemed very interested in. When I brought up my visual impairment, they asked me, do you feel like you would be capable of doing all the tasks involved in this position? And my first response right off the top of my head was, I wouldn't apply for it if that were the case, because it'd be kind of silly to waste their time and my time. And I guess that seemed to impress them a little bit. And before I even left the interview, they told me they wanted to encourage the town to hire me for this position, even though other people had applied. Ironically, when I filled out the application for this job, um, I did it on the premise thinking, oh, it'd be really nice, but I'm not going to expect it because, you know, you get disappointed when things don't work, right? So I filled out that application at the town hall very hurriedly because I had my sister in law waiting for me in the vehicle while I was filling it out. And so it was kind of sloppy. I didn't want to do it sloppy, but I wanted to also not make my sister in law wait. And so later I'm think to myself, I probably won't hear from them because, this person has a very poor handwriting and such. Um, Surprisingly, within a week, I did receive a phone call. It wasn't even quite a week that they wanted to interview me. And so like I said before, I went in and talked to them, and I told them about my skills because in high school I did um, volunteer library works through for 3 full years. I did all the business classes except for shorthand 2 and economics, which I really wanted, but they only offered it every other year. In the year that I could have taken it, I I had too many classes, so I couldn't take it. They only allowed junior and seniors to take it at the time, and the 1 year that they offered it, I didn't have the available space to take it. Um, but other than that, um, I was going to receive a special diploma saying it was a business diploma from the Washington Academy in East Machias, Maine, where I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up in East Machias, but I grew up near East Machias. Um, and it was a exceptional school, and I just worked so hard toward getting this special diploma would signify that I had um, specialized in business classes. So I took bookkeeping, I took um, accounting, I took shorthand, I took typing, I all those things, and
I gotta run back to grade Sonny for a second. Alright, I'm back.
yeah, sorry about that. Um, and then when I graduated, ended up getting an envelope with a $10 bill as a reward for being the most achieved in the business area, despite the fact that I was visually impaired. That was really a bummer. I would have rather had the diploma, but didn't quite work out that way. Uh, that was my husband, by the way, who just came in for a moment to let me know that he was going to be back shortly. Uh, so when I waited after I got the interview to hear if, you know, well, wait, I know I'm kind of scatterbrained at the moment, so bear with me. I I went home from the interview, and I got a phone call from my rehab worker from the Commission for the Blind in Vermont, where I lived. And he just happened to be in town, and he wanted to ask me how I was doing and was there anything I needed assistance with. And, the whole process of applying for this job. And I was so excited, I didn't even think to mention to them that there were um, accessibilities for me through the Commission for the Blind and actual help that could be given to the library for me that would encourage them even more to hire me over somebody else. I never even thought twice about it, but when he called me, I said, call this library, talk to this person, because I just interviewed for a full time job as a bookkeeper there, an account clerk. And so he did. And within, oh, I think it was like a Thursday or Friday. And by Monday, I got a call saying they wanted to hire me. So it turned out that the Commission for the Blind paid half of my salary for 6 months. And that way they were able to keep on the person that I was replacing part time for that 6 months so she could train me. I just, this job was awesome. I love this job. Um, and I do miss it. When I moved out of state, I had to leave the job, but I now live in upstate, New York and in the Finger Lakes. And I have three grown children now. I started having children after we moved to New York and always wanted to be a mother, so kind of fulfilled that dream as well. So I wouldn't really change my life so much. I do wonder sometimes what it would have been like if I had made different choices, but I don't think I would want to undo a lot, especially the job experience that I had and having my children. Ironically, my sister in law that was waiting for me in the car while I was filling out the application, after I got the job, she told me that she had actually applied for that job too, and I had no clue. But she ended up getting another job, not far away from where I was working as a account clerk, bookkeeper type thing too, and so we used to sometimes get together for lunch and eat lunch together. It was very fun. I remember that was a very good part of my life. Well, a lot of it is, but everybody has ups and downs. And that was my little story I wanted to share with um, Cayla with a C. And please, please still do another live stream because I would love to catch it. All right. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.